I got a letter from the IRS that told me there was problems with 2009 taxes. What they were charging me was $25,000 plus interest. I was in utter shock. I was in shock, and the more letters that came, the more rattled I got. It was an emotional time. And you just feel like, where can you turn?
Across the Gulf Coast, Floridians find themselves in situations that can only be resolved with competent legal representation. For the less fortunate, financial restrictions can leave them with few options to pursue a just outcome.
I'm on Social Security, and I was trying to find a job, and I couldn't find a job, and I can barely live as it is. You know, I was renting a room for $200 at the time. It was just like, you know, where do you go from here? I could not afford a tax attorney.
A lot of the people in our community cannot get basic legal representation, and Gulf Coast Legal Services is one of the few places, in many ways, the only place in the community where lawyers can help them be able to get what they need and get back on their feet.
Thank God for Gulf Coast Legal Services, because otherwise, I don't know what would happen. I really don't.
Deborah enjoyed a career as a nursing assistant before a stroke took her out of the workforce and placed her on Social Security disability. When the government decided to cancel her disability payments, she didn't know where to turn.
I filled out the papers and everything, and they denied me. There was a lot of frustration. I didn't have any money to pay my bills.
Gulf Coast Legal Services was able to help Deborah again receive the services she needed.
They must have decided they made a mistake, that they shouldn't cut me off.
Gulf Coast Legal Services works hard to provide equal justice for the most vulnerable members of our community in a wide variety of legal specialties. For Magali, the decision to leave her abusive husband was made more complicated by her fear of being deported.
The first years is only verbal abuse. So the second years is, violence. Maybe I have problem with the immigration for deportation. I say, Kathleen and Margaret saved my life. It's my angels.
The attorneys at Gulf Coast Legal Services are able to sort through complex legal issues for their clients. For Magali, this meant being safe from her husband, but also being able to stay in the United States with her children.
Now I feeling good. I okay. I happy. Yeah.
I'm starting to wonder if I should just bag my resolutions too.
The attorneys of Gulf Coast Legal Services treat each and every client with dignity and respect, as if each one were their most important client.
So it was that, oh, somebody is going to listen to me. Because you go through all those years where you don't feel like anybody's listening to you or anybody cares.
When I met a lawyer, he told me, don't worry about it. This is going to be okay. Making me feel more comfortable and more secure, and I trust him.
I was desperate, and I did not want to lose my home. Robin was there till like sometimes 7 or 8 o'clock at night with me working. And what lawyer would do that?
I feel like they care about me. That's what I feel like, they care about me.
They are there to empower you, but you have to take that first step. And there are resources out there, you just need to call them, and they're a phone call away.
Without Gulf Coast Legal Services, there are a number of people who would get no legal services and would not be able to get access to benefits. And in many cases, the consequences are incredibly severe. Without Gulf Coast attorneys there to help them, these people would probably be left to those circumstances. And that would be a real tragedy in a society like ours, a community like ours.
With the generous financial support of people like you, Gulf Coast Legal Services can continue to help lower-income people in our community with issues they cannot fix on their own. The donation you offer today will help us make sure they have access to the justice they deserve.
And that's what I really feel like Gulf Coast did for me, is made me realize that I am special and I am worth fighting for.
Support Gulf Coast Legal Services.